All right, shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We'll start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kadash. All right, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect that also pushing this word, starting with 144,000 in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. So today's class is going to be another, the lesson is going to be another edition of News and Prophecy. And as you see, the title says, never let a good crisis go to waste, be vigilant. And this quote is from, I think, Theodore Roosevelt. No, Slake.
Winston Churchill.
Yeah, Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill. And he was right. And basically with that quote, he was giving us some insight on how these wicked elites think and what they're all about, right? When you look at different crises that partake on the earth, these wicked elites, starting with which is the top banking families, what they do is they use these crises to administer their order. And their order is actually disorder because it's against the order that the Heavenly Father has established according to His Word. All right, so with that being said, there's this video here.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, you saw this video?
Yeah.
Con. So, hold on, I got another brother
I didn't see it.
Crazy.
Shalom. How about Shema Shabbat?
Shalom.
So, as you see here, this is from Dabu 7, right? Another prophet for Esau. Okay. And he posted some good videos, good articles on things that happen in America. But here he posted, it says, get ready for financial chaos. Banks close hundreds of branches. Prepare for incoming dollar recall. Now, this is heavy because if this is, this is true, because, only time will tell. Okay, only time will tell. But it's heavy because everybody is focusing on what's going on over there in the Middle East. Everybody's focusing on what's going on over there in the Middle East, and that's perfect with Esau because he's all about there's another term. Yeah, he's all about deception. Exactly. Basically, simply put, he's all about deception, and that's what that area. Even though what's going on over there in the Middle East is prophecy, it's also Esau's way. All right. It's his form of deception. It's deception for what's really important. Because one of the main prophecies is the MOTB. All right, because that's what the prophets were sent to do. The prophets were sent to basically warn the elect of the MOTB and the prophets and to prepare their minds for that time of testing. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna play this clip and we're gonna get precepts and edify.
This is Dabu 7. We know that the powers that be never let a crisis go to waste. And it seems that there's one churned up right now, and it may just catch many people off guard. We've had insiders warning about the inflation and the printing of money for years now, but we're on the cusp of a CBDC being rolled out and the power being given to the government to track any and every move everyone makes worldwide with the US dollar. Now, banks are closing up at a record pace. We had 54 just close up in this past week. AI and robots moving in all over the place. And the warning signs are definitely there. The financial crisis, so to speak, is going to be rolled out so that they can send emergency funds to the people that need it via these digital wallets. Now, there's about to be a huge event that most people don't even see coming. Yahoo Finance already let the cat out of the bag in other places on speaking about the recall that is about to take place. That's right, a recall. And because most people are turning the cheek the other way or sticking their head in the sand, They're going to get blindsided by this. And I
Which, funny enough, when you look at what the King of Canada is doing, so-called king, and the so-called king of Babylon over there, the Great, is doing, they are spending money, more and more, as much money as they possibly can, on both sides of the war. Well, not both sides of the war, but on both of the wars. Right? They're sending money over to Ukraine, and they're also sending money over to Israel. Both countries are doing that, and it's getting to the point where the money and the financial aid that has been sent to both wars is in the billions for both countries. And then you got one country that's already in debt in the trillions. So with that, if your spiritual eye is open, you can see that these devils are purposely tanking their own economies based upon the agenda of the wicked elites, and ultimately based upon prophecy, which is, what the Lord ordained them to do.
Compare it to the Nixon shock. We'll go ahead and call it the Biden shock. When they come out and they announce the recall of the U.S. dollar. This has never happened in your lifetime, nor will it ever again. This is going to be one of those once-in-a-lifetime moves that you better be prepared for. They're going to call this back. They're going to say that you can turn it in for a CBDC exchange, and this is going to start a frenzy. And you're going to see right then if people in mass are going to accept this in the United States, or if they're going to reject it like they did in Nigeria and other places.
And, according to prophecy, I definitely believe this is going to, if this happens this way, because the Lord can do this in any other way. But if this is the way that it's going to happen, this is going to cause a lot of strife and what's the term called? Sedition among the people, because what you're seeing, what you've seen over the last couple of years, especially with the Icky Vicky, with the poison dart, there was a lot of sedition, which is there's a lot of sedition between families and people, right? So now concerning the topic of CBDCs and whatnot, you got one half of people that believe that the CBDC is good, they trust the government, and basically they want to get along so they can move along, right? So they even if they knew that there was something wrong with it or it's not right, they don't really care, because again, they want to move along, so they have to get along. And then you got the other half that swears against the CBDC and knows that it's about control, government control, and whatnot. But even that half, within that half, you have a small remnant, which is the hopeful elect. Those guys who are rejecting the CBDC are eventually going to accept it, because what they're predicating, their faith is predicated upon a false teaching, a false doctrine. Even though they're coming out with the truth, a lot of these guys who are going to reject the CBDC, they've came out with a lot of truth, but their faith and their truth, all right, isn't ultimately based upon Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So eventually they're going to succumb to the CBDC, because the prophecy is that, which the CBDC is just going to herald in the MOTB. But the prophecy is that the Esau, the wicked elites, should cause everybody, really the Lord is going to cause everybody to receive a MARK into their skin. And the only ones that won't receive it is the hopeful elect.
I have a precept.
Okay.
Right, it has to be read, because a good crisis, right, will never go to waste. Right, we know that the Lord Yahweh Shai is in control, and he's these prophecies are speaking right before our eyes, just speeding up. So let's go to Revelation 13 and read 15 and 16. If you could read it, brother, in the NLT, young officer, read it in NLT. Those two precepts, because this guy's role, I'm talking about this he here that was permitted, his role is to simply carry on the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai on the left-hand side, as he is told, to fulfill his will. So this is these two precepts. Just go ahead, let it speak.
So Revelation 13:16, it reads, He required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. And now, and no one could buy or sell anything without the mark, which was, and when you look this word up, if you don't already know, when you look this word up, you get the Greek word charagma, or not Greek, but Hebrew, slake.
And I was going to say, if you go back to also the mark in ancient Egypt, it would be kwai. When you look it up, when you look that up,
right, that's right. And basically, it goes into something that's inserted inside your skin, an incision, a cut in your skin. All right, so they roll out a device that has to be put inside of you. All right, if the Holy Spirit is dealing with you, alarm signs should go off in your mind that this is the MOTB, this is the MARK. So it says, which was either the name, slake, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. Wisdom is needed. Yeah, go ahead.
And I was going to say, Slake, as soon as you read verse 18, because verse 18 now goes into, simply put, the prophets. Okay, they're going to have this wisdom that the Lord is speaking of. If you could read verse 15, right, just in the NLT as well, because we talked about that. A word is used there instead of image. Go ahead, Slake.
So verse 15, it says, he was then permitted to give life to the statue so that it could speak.
Right. So the laws of the land, okay, right? The laws of the land goes back to that statute, okay, that image, which is the philosophies and so forth like that. Just wanted to say that for the record, for those who are watching, who might come across the NLT and the word about statue. And simply put, you can even pull up that great metallic image and understand that all the empires are constituted in that he today, and that we are in the the toes, which is mixed of iron and clay of that statue. Right, when you go into it symbolically.
And when you go into the King James, the word statue there is replaced with image. And the image that this beast system, which is Babylon the Great, is coming in is the Roman Empire image, the image of the Roman Empire. Right. So, and it says here, then the statue, which is the image of the Roman Empire, of the beast, right, commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die. Right. And that's, basically when you go into Rome, what was going on in Rome? You had same-sex marriages, right? You had what you call so-called democracy. You had a bunch of wickedness going on in Rome, and basically Babylon the Great today, which is America, there you see them professing that same wickedness, which is that wine, across the whole earth. Nations have drunk of it, and the nations are mad. That's what the scriptures say. All right, and that's why you see them pushing. They're trying to push, that alphabet gang movement in these other countries, and you see other countries bucking up against it, right? Because basically Esau, Edom, they're losing their power and their grips and their reigns over the nations of the earth. That was it on this?
Yeah, that was it on that. You read the last verse, right?
Oh no, Slaka. Let me read that. Revelation 13:18 says, "Wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. His number is 666."
And simply put, I just need to link this precept here in Revelation 17. Okay. I'll just go straight to the point. Revelation 17:5. What that 666 represent?
Con.
Yeah, Revelation
So
17:5.
Revelation 17. So Revelation 17:5. And it reads, oh, I have it here in the NLT. Let me get it in the King James. Revelation 17:5, and it reads, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon, Mystery, it's like a mystery, Babylon the Great, the
6.
mother of harlots and of,
6.
yep.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so mystery, which is 1:6, Babylon the Great, which is another 6, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, and that's the third 6.
Right, and you can pull that up in the Greek. Do do a word, excuse me, a word to number search for those 3 different characteristics of what this thing represents, 666, and it'll bring you to 666. And if you could also do it in the Hebrew, and you will see 666. So the mystery, it was given to the prophets, and it's clearly speaking out there for those who have wisdom.
Yep,
That's led by wisdom. Yeah. So that's it.
I was going to add something to this
Bring it out.
point.
Bring it out.
Look up George Joseph Loro, as in Gorge 6, Josephh 6, Laurer the third. So it's George Joseph Loro. He was an American engineer for IBM Research, Randall Park in North Carolina. He's the one who brought up that UPC code. He's the one that first came up with that scanning that's put on product.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's happened that his name is 6 letters in all 3 of his names, so 666.
Beautiful.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Oh.
Okay, let me finish up this video real quick. We're almost done here.
And this is going to start back. They're going to say that you can turn it in for a CBDC in exchange. And this is going to start a frenzy. And you're going to see right then if people in mass are going to accept this in the United States or if they're going to reject it like they did in Nigeria and other places. These people woke up to see that this is all about tracking when it comes to the blockchain and its technology. We also had the feds come out this week and admit.
Shalom.
Shalom. Yehovah Shem Shabbat.
Shalom.
There's major privacy concerns when it comes to the CBDC. And they said it right out in the open, but it seemed like no one was listening. So everything is in motion, and the stage is set that by November 1st, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, the Biden regime come out and make an announcement from that point on, any time from that point on, about a recall on the U.S. dollar. I'm telling you right now.
So we'll wait and see, but that's what the rumor is, so to speak.
Now, most people are about to get absolutely blindsided by this. Join me on the live streams where I talk about this in greater detail.
Okay, so basically, to sum up everything he said is that they're coming out with this CBD system, and Esau Edom's coming out with a CBD system, but they're using what's going on over there in Israel as a distraction. Don't see it coming. So remember, these devils believe in never letting a crisis go to waste. And what's going on in the land of Israel is a crisis. Okay, and yeah, for damn sure they're not going to let it go to waste. So we're going to see how Esau is going to use this crisis, or how the Lord really is going to use this crisis to bring out the MOTB, because the Lord is the one that's going to put the spirit on these Edomites to make the move that they got to make to bring out the CBDC, and ultimately, which is the MOTB, CHIP. So, okay, I want to go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, and I'm going to read from 1 to 10. In the midst of that, I got precepts for certain verses. So brothers got precepts as well that come to you, just let me know, and then we can get them and pull them out. You don't have to wait until I'm done these 10 verses. All right, so this is first. Well, I got Timothy Slacker. First Thessalonians chapter 5. Let me get this in an NLT. All right, so this is First Thessalonians T, and it reads, "Now concerning all this will happen, dear brothers and sisters, we don't really need to write onto you, right? Because we should only be concerned about the prophecy that is going to happen, right? And concerned about our own salvation. As to when it's going to happen, well, we're the ones, the elect are the ones that are following prophecy. Okay, and as to how it's going to happen, well, that doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, all that matters is that Yahweh Ratzah the hopeful elect. Okay, so verse 2, it says, "For you know quite well that the day of the Lord's return, right, will come unexpectedly, like a thief in the night." All right, and there's many reasons for that, but I'm going to get 2 precepts going into that. And actually, before I get those precepts, we're going to look up the word thief here. The day of the Lord is like a thief in the night. So, where are we here? There we go. Okay. So thief, the word there is kleptis, right? Like kleptomaniac. That's where you get the word kleptomaniac, klepto, someone who steals. So you see here it says an embezzler, right? It says the name is transferred to false teachers who do not care to instruct men, but abuse their confidence, right? The confidence of the men, of the followers of the congregation that listen to them and that believe in the words that they're teaching, for their own gain, right? So, for the hopeful elect, which is who Paul was writing to, right? When he said, "You have no need that we write unto you concerning the day of the Lord." Well, it's because what our teachers were teaching us, okay, and are teaching us now is the truth. Now you got a lot of false teachers. You got more false teachers than true teachers in this ministry, and they're set up by the Heavenly Father, okay, as thieves, spiritual thieves, okay, to basically abuse the confidence, which means faith, that these Israelites have in them, so that they can basically get taken up with the destruction of Jacob's trouble. All right, so that's why it's important to be vigilant as to who you're watching, man. And because you don't want to be a part of that cluster that gets taken by the false teachers, and you end up being destroyed.
That's right.
So from here, okay, we went into thief. Let me bring out the root actually real quick in thief. It also said here for the root word, it said to steal, to commit a thief, and ultimately that the main thief, the number one thief, is Esau Edom, right? He's the number one thief. But then under Esau Edom and its pyramid scheme structure, you have the Jakes that are set up, all right, to also deceive our people, and they're paid and bought off by Esau Edom. Okay, so it says here, take away by theft, i.e., take away by stealth, right? So these false teachers are crafty, man. Right? They're coming in like serpents. So if you're not rooted in your understanding, in the understanding of the Lord, then guess what? You're going to be most likely be beguiled by these false prophets. So let me pull out Jeremiah 23. Let me read from 16 to 20. So Jeremiah 23 and 16, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you, that they make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord Yahweh." Right? And this is all set up in the spirit, because what does the prophecy say? The prophecy says that it's going to come upon the majority of the world, the day of the Lord. All right, it's going to come upon the majority of the Lord, or the majority of the world, and 2/3 of Israel as a thief in the night. And that's because of the false prophets. All right, the false prophets that are teaching Israel. Okay, so it says, verse 17, they say still unto them that despise me, the Lord Yahweh has said, ye shall have peace. And they're not rebuking Israelites that despise this word. You got a lot of false teachers that basically, they're not rebuking you in righteousness and in truth. Right? Okay, so this truth is supposed to. The prophets were, when they spoke. First of all, they spoke, and they were told to warn Israel. And when they spoke, they were rough. They were always telling Israel, what you're doing is wicked. You need to repent before the Most High destroys you. That's not what these majority of the prophets are saying in Israel. Okay, so it says, they say still unto them that despise me, the Lord Yahweh has said, ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of their own heart. Right? So all the Israelites that are basically in darkness, right? So the mindset of this world, having the mindset of this world is likened to being in darkness. All right, because the mindset of this world is walking after the imaginations, everybody walking after the imagination of their own mind. No evil shall come upon you. So when we tell you that Jacob's trouble is right around the corner, they're telling you that we're bugged out. Right? They're telling you that we sold out. Right. They're telling you that we hate our nation because we rebuke our nation. It says, verse 18, for
Precept.
who? Khan, you got one real quick?
Yeah, I got a quick one. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeremiah 48, verse 10.
Khan. Go ahead, Ak.
And it reads, cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord Yahweh deceitfully. Right? These false teachers, right? They have a personal agenda, Cash App, keeping unto them followers,
Right.
And cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood, right? And that goes into rebuke, right?
Right.
You're supposed to,
Right.
you see something going off, you're supposed to rebuke it openly.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And that's it on that.
That's right.
Got a quick reset on that.
Khan.
Sirach 40, and the point is the 12th. And it reads, all bribery and injustice should be blotted out, but a true dealing should endure forever. Right? So some of us will get bribed by these other camps, right? But we want to endure to the end because we know what is gonna come with, right? With the MOTB, you're gonna get bribed by ISA doing that. If you pay the MOTV, this is what you can accomplish right now. But we know this is gonna be the end.
That's right. That's right. And that's in these words, right? It says, but true dealing shall endure forever. So true dealing starts with prophesying and teaching this word. All right. And then it leads into Yahushua coming and restoring everything. All right. Restoring righteousness on the earth. Everything back in its order. That was it on that app?
Yeah, that was it.
So back to Jeremiah 23 and 16, it says, verse 17, they say still unto the, verse 18, Salake, it says, for who has stood in the counsel of the Lord Yahweh and has perceived and heard his word? Who has marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind, and that's the prophets, right? The prophets are the ones that have heard the Lord's word, okay? And you could tell by the fact that what we speak is coming to pass. What we have been speaking, starting with the apostles, all right, and the Elder Great Millstone, going back to Abba Bivens, is coming to pass. All right, so it says here, verse 19, behold, a whirlwind of the Lord Yahweh is gone forth in fury, and that represents the chariots of the Heavenly Father, but also the missiles, right? The missiles are going to create a wind, okay? That's going to be, when Esau says that, you know, he has the technology where these missiles are, the wind are like 5 times or 10 times hotter than the heat that comes from the sun. Okay, so it says, behold, a whirlwind of the Lord Yahweh is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. Right, Esau, Edom. Okay, the top wicked elite, and it says the anger, they're going to be saved from the missiles and the destruction that the chariots are bringing, the top wicked elite, because they got to be preserved, as one brother likes to call those bunkers, slave bunkers. So that's exactly what those Edomites are.
Right.
All right, so they're going to be saved for slavery because their bodies have to be buried, right, put back in the ground, and you first and foremost, most importantly, our kingdom needs to be built up. Okay, so verse 20, it says, the anger of the Lord Yahweh shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. Okay, and who knows the thoughts of the Lord's heart in terms of what he's going to do and what he has planned for the earth? The prophets. Okay, we know, we have the inside scoop, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders on down. We have the inside scoop on what the Lord is getting ready to do to the earth. You know, so it says here, in the latter days, which we're in today, ye shall consider it perfectly. Right? So in the latter days, we would have perfect understanding of the Lord's prophecy, the Lord's words as to what's happening, why it's happening, what does it all lead to. And that's what you see the Lord doing by erecting the prophets, starting with the apostles, all throughout the whole four corners of the earth. All right, and bringing up this truth. All right, so let me go from here real quick to Matthew 24 and 42. Matthew 24 and 42, and it reads, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord Yahweh doeth come. That's a heavy statement, because who's he speaking to? He's not speaking to 2/3 of Israel. He's definitely not speaking to heathen. He's speaking to the whole full elect. So we have to watch, man, because the prophecy is that for we don't know when the hour that the Lord is coming. So when he comes, it's gonna shake the whole earth up. But you know, the men of the Lord, the prophets, starting with the prophets on down to the whole full elect, the rest of the whole full elect, what's gonna keep them stable is the Holy Spirit, right? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Bring back to the remembrance what the prophecies. It says, verse 43, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Right? So, he's saying that he's basically, how should I saying that we're lucky, man. We have to understand, not lucky, but we're blessed. We have to understand how blessed we are to actually be able to understand prophecy. Because everybody is being led astray. Outside of the whole full elect, every other soul is being led astray. Okay, so it says, have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. It says, therefore be ye also ready. Does that mean, how are we making ourselves ready? Right? It's by our understanding, preparing ourselves by getting this understanding. Right? Because once the prophets are not out here, once the Lord takes his prophets out off the streets, you're left with your wisdom and faith. And if you weren't rooted, and you were lukewarm, you weren't giving 100% effort in this truth, in this ministry, how are you sure that you're going to be good when the prophets are not there?
Mhm.
When the videos are not being made, how are you sure that you're going to be able to recall on the scriptures if you're not 100% on fire right now?
Right.
Okay, so it says, would not suffer his house to be broken up to, therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. So the Son of Yahushua is going to come in an hour that we're not going to be aware of. But when he comes, all right, if the Holy Spirit is dealing with us, Yahweh Rata said we're of the elect, we're going to know it's him, and we're going to give all praises.
Right.
So
Yeah. I have some precepts here to go to, because we talked about, this crisis here. This is a wonderful crisis to be in regards to the Spirit leading us. And this quote from this Churchill, we know he plagiarized it from the scripture, because I'm going to the precept that he plagiarized it from. Right? He took it from the prophets, and in the world they twist it and do whatever they want to do with it, and we're watching it play out right before our eyes. So, if you could go to the book of Timothy, second book of Timothy, and start at if you could start at the 6th verse, and the point is made in the 5th verse, and the point about the point about the good crisis is in the 8th verse. Of
First Timothy or Second Timothy?
Sorry, 2 Timothy, Slakia. 2 Timothy 1, right? And start at verse 6. And the first point is made in the 8th verse in regards to the crisis, and then it winds up in the 12th verse.
Okay.
Right?
So
I just want to say real quick, the heading is the trust that was given to the election. Okay, that's what the title is. It is to guard it in spirit and in truth. Okay, go ahead.
So this is 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 6. Wherefore I put thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of Yahweh, which is in thee by the putting on of hands. So basically, we were anointed, right? We were anointed to receive this truth. All right. It says, verse 7, for Yahweh hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord Yahushua, nor of me, his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of Yahweh.
Beautiful. So this is the quote that that quote came from this precept right there that this guy talked about. Okay, this is Churchill or whoever he is, right? So he twisted. Well, he twisted. They twisted the way to serve their purpose, right? But if you read it again, you can even read it in NLT. For those at home, if you want to read that precept in the NLT, the 8th verse, you'll see it.
Okay, come. I'll just get it off
For the
my
record,
phone.
just for the record.
Yeah. Okay, so 2 Timothy 1 and 8 in the NLT, it reads, so never be ashamed to tell others about our Lord Yahweh, about Shem Yahushua, and do not be ashamed of me either, even though I am in prison for him. And that's another thing, man. When people start to see the prophets being tossed, tossed in jail for, serving the Lord, they're gonna flake.
Mhm.
They're gonna see that, and a lot of men and a lot of women are gonna be like, forget this, man. I didn't sign up for this. This is too much.
Yeah.
And they're gonna flake. So that's why Paul was saying, don't be ashamed of me that I'm in prison for Yahweh Shai. With the strength Yahweh gives you, be ready to suffer with me for the sake of the good news.
Yes, never let a good crisis go to waste, in spirit and in truth. The elect were set up not to let that great crisis. This is the great thing, right? The word crisis has different levels of understanding to it. We're looking at it from we're looking at it from both sides, obviously the show, and we did that with the world. But this is a crisis to be in here. That's why it says remembrance in the first precept that you read, right? The Lord is bringing us back to who we are. So it's a beautiful thing, man. Right?
We have
no, that's it. Go ahead.
We have an advantage about over everybody else because we know what's coming down the pipe before it comes. That's a gift. So finishing this up, verse 9, it says, who have saved us and called us with a holy calling, not according to our works, but according to his own purpose and grace, which was given us in Yahweh Shai HaMashiach before the world began, but is now made manifest by the appearing of our Savior Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who has abolished death and hath brought life and immortality to light through the gospel, the good news, whereunto I am appointed a preacher and an apostle and a teacher of the Gentiles, for the which cause I also suffered these things. Nevertheless, I am not ashamed, for I know what I have believed, and am persecuted, that he is able to keep that which is committed unto him against that day. Wow. So Paul had a great mentality in terms of persecution, because he basically said that he's going to allow the Lord to be his justifier. Right? He's going to allow the Lord to justify him while he's being persecuted by his enemies, which we're getting ready to be persecuted by the enemy, which is Esau by Edom. And we have to put on the same mindset. The same mindset is what? We're not going to take matters into our own hands, because the scriptures say, haste not in the time of trouble. We're coming into the time of trouble. You have to lean upon your faith, right, and the understanding of the Lord, not your own understanding.
No haste and no sleeping. Salaki, go ahead.
Yeah, that's script.
Khan. Go ahead, Af. Where are we at?
Somebody, who's up?
Banana.
I think it's frozen.
Oh, he's frozen.
Oh, you froze?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you
precept.
Okay, Khan.
And it's Psalms, I think it's 10. And if you're subscribed to this life lessons, you'll know who the wicked is. And it's Esau, the devil, aka Satan. And that word Satan just means adversary, and adverse to the Heavenly Father. Okay.
Right.
So Psalms 10 verse 2.
Khan. So Psalms 10 verse 2, it reads, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor.
All right, so the poor, the elect of Israel. 2/3 don't think that they're poor because they just want to be equal to or just get along. Right? We know that we've been placed into a base situation where all nations are over us in carnality, but lacking in the spiritual realm because the Most High ain't dealing with them. Right. So this is where our treasures is not here per se. It's in the heavens where moth
Right.
and rust cannot get to it. Right.
That's right. That's right.
So the wicked are proud.
Right. Because they can't see that. Yep.
Go ahead, brother.
Slacker. I just wanted to say they can't, because you made a good point. Our riches are in heaven. So they can't see the gravity of what we're doing. And that's why they're prideful and puffed up.
So keep reading.
It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
So the trap. So them CBDC, that money promised.
Right.
Where they give you that monthly money, or it's called like
UBI, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let them be caught up in that, man. Let them see that's their way out.
Right.
Not saying it's wicked to accept it.
Right.
If it comes with putting a mark, or taking a palisade.
Yeah.
Right. To hell with that.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. That's right, man.
So the devices is basically trap. Right. All this thing, to tell you it's gonna be a better world, to have this things done this way, less paperwork, digitalize everything,
debt cancellation.
Right. So we look at the words, man, and we slow words down. So that digitalize is just like, as it says, digital lies.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
we don't deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much.
It says here, for the wicked boasts of his heart's desires.
See that? It's boasting when you start telling us what is it you're planning to do.
Right.
Like, it's not a secret, because remember, they're known to have what? A society. Because that's what they push forth. But we know they're a society with secrets. Because everyone know about the Masons and Freemasonry and all the Club of Rome. They're not hiding. Right? They just have secrets, but the Most High has revealed their secrets.
Right.
Through what? Telling us the truth.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we know they're adverse to. So we know if you're adverse to something, right? All we gotta do is know what the truth is, and the truth is gonna have a lie, right? So we know their moves, right? So just how we have our meeting here, meeting of the minds, and through the scriptures, they have their wise men on the left hand side doing what we're doing. All right, doing the same exact thing, but on a left hand side.
That's right.
Right. So we're just mirroring them on the right hand side, because we know that their time is up.
That's right.
Right. That's right. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth.
Yeah, so the Lord's against them, man. And that word covetous, please, brother.
Yep. I'm already thinking about these wicked pastors, man. These wicked teachers. So covetous, it says here, to cut off, break off, gain by unrighteous violence.
See that? And it's unrighteous violence, because what's happening right now in the Palestine, that's unrighteous violence. Even though they don't belong there, like, wrong is wrong, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're not gonna be that unrighteous, be blowing people up, blowing grandmothers, babies. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're gonna be slavery. Slavery doesn't mean you kill people
unjustly
without them doing something wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Blow pregnant ladies, and you want to get rid of people. Who are you to get rid of people, man? Hey,
right.
The scripture says you're the only people on the planet Earth who is not promised any mercy. Right? So if anything, you're gonna be eradicated, man.
That's right.
That's the power of the Lord, man.
That's right.
That's the power of the Lord, because really, in the spirit, what's going on over there with the Ishmaelites and Amalek, the Ishmaelites are getting fucked up because the Lord is judging you for the wicked shit that you've done. right? And for the wicked, you Ishmaelites, like we have no part in what's going on over there, man. We can give two shits about that place because you know we know in the spirit what's going on to those people is judgment from the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know that Amalek is about to get his judgment too. The Lord is just saving him for last.
Right. And prior to 1920, that place wasn't called Palestine. It was ruled by the Ottoman, right?
Right.
The Ottoman.
So that was actually the land of Judea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's our land. So yes, some people that are there are our people.
That's right.
They stay the land. So yes, there's some of our people there right now. But are they serving Yahweh Shai? No, they call them Allah, man, because the majority of them are Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or Christian, white Jesus.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They're not calling him Heavenly Father. Because if they were, by now, they would have a decree and they'd be making videos.
Right.
All right? We would know of them. I would just have prayers for them. But there's no camp, right, teaching what we're taught.
Nope.
So to hell with them too, man.
I got a quick script.
Let me finish this up for him.
Go.
I'll finish this up.
Go.
And then you can get yours, Banyamin.
Mm-hmm.
So it says Psalms 10:3, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desires, and blesseth the covetous, which, you know, that's what you see happening among the many different churches, all right, in the world, but primarily over in Babylon the Great and over here in Canada. Esau is blessing the covetous, and the covetous is the wicked of our people as well, you know, because he used the same tactic when they were calling themselves the Greeks, right? And when you go into the Maccabees, you had Jason the high priest, right? That wicked Israelites. He bought his way into the high priest in the priesthood. So, you know, and Antiochus Epiphanes didn't care if Israel was destroying themselves. He gave the high priest to the highest bidder. So don't think the same thing isn't happening today. Okay. You want me to keep going on this, or that's just that verse?
You know, there's last year. Let's hear Benjamin.
Keep going.
You sure?
Yeah, if you still have something, keep reading it.
No, he said that was it. You can bring your piece up.
Tell me what you got, brother.
Hold on, I just came out of it. This was in John. Hold on, brother.
You said John?
Yeah, it was First John 4, but I came out of it.
You gotta keep your hand on the figure on the trigger.
No, because I'm using the other phone and I came right completely out of it.
All good. Let me know when you get it.
Let me find. Yeah. Hold on.
I'll bring it right back up.
4. Hold on. Let me just go down here. Okay, here I bring up this scripture here. This is John 1. I mean 4 verse 1 verse 4. First book of John.
1 verse 4.
Yeah. Find it under.
First book of John, chapter 1.
Yeah, verse 4, verse 4. Wait, go on.
Is it Big John or Little John's?
Yeah. First John, verse, and jump down to 4.
Okay, so First John, chapter 1, verse 4.
Yeah, let me see something.
Okay.
Wait, let me see if it's.
So.
Go to chapter 4, verse 4.
Okay. So First John.
Yeah.
Chapter 4,
verse 4. And I'm gonna
read it for you then.
Yeah, you read it though. I can read it. It says, "Ye are of Yahweh, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you, and then he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. But we are of Yahweh. He that knoweth Yahweh heareth us. He that is not of Yahweh heareth not us. thereby know we are the spirit of truth and of the spirit of the error. Right? I just want to bring out that.
Yeah, come on, break it down. Break it down.
Let me go back. Yeah, so basically, the Most High is dealing with the Israelites, with the prophets, with the 1/3, right? So it's like not everybody's gonna get this understanding. This truth is not. It's not for the whole world. They're not gonna hear us. So we're only calling out onto the Hebrews, onto the Israelites, that the Most High is dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Only the 1/3 and the elect, right? Who's gonna wake up at the last trump, at the last calling, you know?
Right.
So these other people who's outside and you're seeing them, they're not gonna get this truth. It's not even for them. They're not gonna understand it because the Most High is not dealing with them. You know.
Sure.
So the whole point is, that we're correcting them. We're rebuking this world, basically. We're correcting our people who's like the elect and the 1/3 who's gonna get it. This is all. That's all what this whole truth is for.
Yep.
This is the Most High's program, you know. So
right.
I was reading that, but then I have a scripture. I was going into a lot of scriptures just now, but let me bring out this. This is Romans 1 verse 10.
Okay, that's a good one.
No, Corinthians, my bad. Corinthians chapter 1. Let me see. Yeah, chapter 1 verse. Yeah, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 10. It says, "Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that he all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that he be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. For it has been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Cole, that there are contentions among you. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am Paul, and of I Apollos, and of I Cephas, and I of Yahushai. Is Christ Yahushai divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were ye baptized in the name of Paul? I thank Yahweh that I baptized none of you, but Cyprus and Gaius, lest any should have that. This going into other things, but the whole point was up here from 10, right? Mosai is only dealing with the men who are gonna get this understanding, all in the church, in the one body, right, of the house, right?
Yep. And that's why you have to be very vigilant out there, because when you got these unity camps coming together and they all speak of different things, you have to be aware of that, because the scripture that the brother brought out, I beseech you, brethren, that by the name of the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing. So the true prophets, all right, would speak the same thing. They would be speaking in one accord. All right, and that there be no divisions among you, that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. That's right. So you're not having, in these other unity camps, you have different private interpretations of the scriptures. They don't all have the same judgment and the same mind. All right, so the Lord can't be there. The Lord is not there.
Can I bring this out quick? Listen. Shit. Cool. I'm out. Elder.
Yeah.
Can I bring this quick?
Just go ahead.
Brother was going into 2 Timothy 4:3. And it reads, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts should they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they should turn away their ears from the truth, turn into fables, turn into like, yeah, we all speak the same language, right? It's the same sound.
That's right. That's right. God.
Yeah, the Lord said He's going to bring us back into remembrance, and He's kissing at the same time. So yeah, simply put, man, the election will be brought back to remembrance, and they will be of one accord in the spirit, and they're going to be fighting, wrestling with the angel for that blessing, bro.
Right. So
But anyway, that's just wanted
it's
to.
basically those bones, right? Mentioned in Ezekiel 37, also in the Psalms 35.
Con.
Can
we get that up for you?
Con. Psalm 35 and 10. Right, and it is just a dark saying as it concerns the brother, or in this ministries, right?
Psalm 35 and 10. It says, "All my bones shall say, Lord Yahweh, who is like unto thee?"
And that bones, like I mentioned earlier, is his brothers, man. Right, all the brothers come back, right, as dry bones, speaking in one accord, right, saying who's like, basically praising the Lord, man, giving the Lord's reverence, right, extolling His name, saying this is the Lord's doing, because people think that things happen in this earth without the Lord sanctioning it, like the Lord isn't omnipotent.
Right.
If one thing happens without the Lord sanctioning it, He cannot be omnipotent. Right? Because omni means all. Right? And potent, all powerful. So if the Lord said, if a bird falls from the sky, right, He sanctioned that bird.
That's right.
To fall from the sky. All right.
Yeah.
This is where those bones saying what, brother? In 10?
It says, "All my bones shall say, Yahweh, who is like unto thee, which delivereth the poor from him that is too strong for him."
That's right. So we know that it's the Lord. The deliverance is not of us.
Right.
Okay. We wait on the Lord, man. That's why you have that loser. I come on loser for now. And I don't know if he's a brother yet, or he might repent from making a page about GMS Hamas. All right. So for now, he's a bug out.
Yep.
Because the Lord's dealing with you. You be more circumspect.
Yep.
To make a page like that, because right now it looks like a Ishmaelite, but it could be a northern tribe, or even a Judite. Because we're speckled birds.
Yep.
All right. But for now, he's a bug out.
That's right.
Well, that scripture exactly says that, brother. And the breakdown is straightforward, man. This guy is doing something completely different from the body. So the Lord has exposed him, man. Straight, he's a bug out.
Yep. And it goes on to say, "Yea, the poor and the needy from him that spoileth him."
And him again is the body that we were once spoiled, right? As it concerned who we were as a people, right? And even today, you have 2/3 calling themselves everything, but what the Lord calls them, right? Calling Lord also the weird names, even guys that were given the truth. Right, and King David said, "Give me any plague but a plague of the mind." So basically, don't put them spirits on me, Lord. Don't have me being double-minded. Don't have me unstable. Don't have me wandering in the congregation of the dead.
Right.
That's right, man. And that's a very good point, because that's something that I was meditating on putting this lesson together. Is Esau says, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." It's the same thing for us, because we could see the Lord gave us the eye salve to see this crisis come down the pipe. And Peter already said, knowing that these things shall come, what holy conversation and manner of men should we ought to be? Manner of person should we ought to be, man. So, you have to prepare. You have to prepare your mind for what's coming down the pipe. Okay, and if you're not doing that, you're gonna get caught up in the Lord's destruction and the Lord's anger.
And the opposite of crisis is what? Stability.
Right.
Okay. So the Lord is basically, while everyone is freaking out, right, thinking, like he says about crisis, we're speaking about stability, and that stability is in the same breath as wisdom.
That's right.
Right, knowledge. Right, because we're speaking of this time, we need wisdom and knowledge for this, as it relates to the scriptures.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so
That's
never
right.
let never let stability go to waste.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna get this from a comment board.
God.
This is this is from Prisoners of Hope, hopeful elect for the elect. Shalom to the brothers and sisters on the comment board. This is Proverbs 11:4. It's the end, verse 21. So verse 4, it says, "Riches profit not in the day of wrath, right? But righteousness delivereth from death." Verse 21. And your righteousness, all right, is an amalgamation of your faith and your works. Right? So what you say you believe. Well, you got to show that you believe, and if you show that you believe consistently unto the end, the Lord is going to have to store up in heaven for you, and those riches are going to be needed in Jacob's trouble. Okay, it says, though, verse 21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, but the seed of righteous shall be delivered. That's right. All right, so going back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5, it says, "For ye," in the NLT, for you are all children of the light and of the day. We don't belong to darkness and night."
That's right. So confusion, right? I can see clearly now.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Acts 26:15, real quick, it says here, "And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Yahushai, whom thou persecutest." It says, oh, you know what? Let me jump from here real quick, actually. And get Ephesians. Let me get Ephesians. Ephesians 5 and 6. Ephesians 5 and 6, and it reads, "Let no man deceive you with vain words, for because of these things cometh the wrath of Yahweh upon the children of disobedience." Okay, which is Israel. All right, it says, "Be not ye therefore partakers with them, for ye were sometimes darkness, but now are ye light in the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. Walk as children of light." So walk with his knowledge and his wisdom, which means apply it. Right? You can't be a couch potato and watching the prophets, because we're set up as shepherds to teach you out there that are the whole full elect that aren't prophets. Right? So when you receive this teaching, you receive this word. It's like I lost my place. Verse 6. Right. It's when you receive this word, it says you have to walk as children of light. So now you have to apply the words that the prophets are teaching you, because it's coming from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. For the fruit of this spirit, for the fruit of the spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which we the thing that will be proved to see if we can be to see if the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua will accept us. That's what your tribulations are all about. All right, when you come to serve the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And that's what you see us doing. You want to know why, starting with the apostles of GMS and the elders on down, why we get on all these other camps? We get on them because they're not teaching the truth. We don't get on them for any personal reasons. It has nothing to do with that. We get on them because we're set up by we fear the Lord. Okay. And if you fear the Lord, you're going to stand for the truth.
That's right.
Speaking it. So it says, For it is a shame even to speak of those things which they have done in secret. That was the point on that.
Can I bring a quick preset? Quick. Just what the brother Pastor mentioned about wisdom and knowledge to be stability of that times, and I know that time is around the corner. Hebrews 11:6, and it says faith, and we know that without faith we won't be able to make it. Well, understanding of this, because a lot of people are going to be, a lot of us are going to be tried out on those days with faith, right? It says, but without faith, it is impossible to please Him. So if we don't have faith, we won't be able to please Yahushua, right? And the reason I say that is because I was going through some stuff on my workplace, and in my mind, I was like stressed out. But then I say, "Is the Father that controlled this?" Right? Without Him, either you get or you don't get. Is He's the one that made the call. There's no one else, right? So you need to have faith in the Heavenly Father. He's gonna guide you through whatever is going through in your life. Right. It says,
yeah, you gotta find comfort in this light that we have.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying should be when you're in a scenario like that, and then the Holy Spirit is giving you insight, understanding on the scenario you're in, because these bug-outs don't have that. They don't got a voice telling them what's actually going on. So we have a voice telling us, yo, like you just said, remember that the Lord sanctioned what's going on here. That gives you comfort. That gives you stability.
That's right. It says, for he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder for them that diligently seek Him. Right? So we know, hopefully, we will those men that we're gonna be, have that crown.
That's right.
Quick precept for you. Romans 8:20, based on what Ashar just said. Right. So it says man's going is of the Lord.
Right.
Romans 8:20.
It says, for the creature was made subject to vanity.
So all this things that time we go off and do all dumb crap,
Yeah.
We were made subject. We're made under the rule of being foolish.
Right. Yeah. That's the darkness.
Gone.
Right. And now we're being fools for Yahweh's sake.
That's right.
It says not willingly.
See, it's not by your desires, not because you want to do it.
But by reason of Him who hath subjected the same in hope.
See, that's the reason why you went off.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're made subject to vanity, man. So that's why it's not up because you're holier than thou, because you're so righteous. Whatever that chose you, you're just selected from the beginning.
That's right.
Right. That's what the apostle around said. Doesn't matter how much your memory, you can call up scriptures, know where this precept is, know where that is. You know what I mean? You show up all the time. Nothing to do with that, man. Right? It's a Lord's mercy and grace. If you made it, that's why you made it. It wasn't based on your great study habits.
No.
Right.
Your meticulous attendance at camp. Nothing to do with that.
Right. That's right.
See how about you shine, man?
Right, because basically, what the brother is saying is you don't want to tie your mind and your faith to what you're doing. You want to tie it to where you're going. Right, and where we're trying to go is to the kingdom. We want to get to Yahushua, and you want to get to salvation. Because it's good to be on time for camp. It's good to do all those things, but if you're basing your faith upon those things when you're only as good as the last thing you did, you're not going to find yourself making it too far.
He that was made to endure to the end, the same shall be saved, man.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Heavenly Father gave you a pass.
That's right.
It wasn't you doing anything miraculous, and yes, because I did that, because you become prideful that way.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And pride puffeth up.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'll finish verse 21. It says, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yahweh.
And that bondage corruption is going into Esau, man.
Right.
He's the one that's a corrupt seed.
Mhm.
He's the one that's going to be cast out, right, and be seen as chaff and stubble.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most I have him as spittle, man. Right.
That's right. Yep. And that's also these bodies too, because it was by that serpent which beguiled Eve that these bodies that we have now are now corruptible, are now corrupted. So like you always like to say, man, every time when you look at wickedness, it's all traced back to Esau.
That's it.
It's a serpent, man. Even a sneeze, a cough,
man. Everything, man.
Yeah,
cough is Esau. Damn Esau.
Yep. So all the corruption, man, goes back to that serpent, man.
You got an itch back of your head, like this mother with a shampoo. There's some ingredient in there that's causing your head to itch.
So I'm going to go back to Thessalonians and finish it up. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 6. So it says here in the NLT, I'll read 5 again. For you are all children of the light and of the day. We don't belong to darkness and night. So be on your guard, right? Not asleep like the others. And what does it mean to be asleep? It basically means you're not keeping pace with prophecy. You're not keeping pace with the Holy Spirit. If you're not keeping pace with with prophecies, then you're likened to another person who's asleep. It says, stay alert and be clear-headed. In other words, stay focused. Don't let the ways of this world or the sufferings that we have as individuals concerning our own lots in this world, don't let them occupy space in your mind over this truth. Because at the end of the day, the fashion of this society, the fashion of this world is fading away right before our eyes, man.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like as we get closer and closer to that great time of testing, our minds should get clearer and clearer. Because what's left?
Right.
What is there really? Okay. So verse 5, it says, night is the time when people sleep and drinkers get drunk. Okay, so that represents what? You see all these people, they're drunk off the wine of Esau. And basically Esau is like that. He basically he's controlling their narrative. He's controlling the narrative, and people are going wherever Esau tells a story is. So right now the story is in the land of Israel. Everybody's focused on that. Right? And then next is going to be over here. Then everybody's going to be focused on that. So these people are drunk off the Esau's wine, and they're confused. They have no idea what's going on.
None.
Verse 8, it says, but let us who live in the light be clear-headed, protected by the armor of faith and love, which is faith and obedience, faith and works, and wearing as our helmet the confidence of our salvation. So we're at a point, listen, we're at a point where you can't second guess your salvation. Like you can't let Esau, you can't let Satan get a foothold in your mind whatsoever. If you're having doubts this late in the game, you have to pray that the Heavenly Father strengthen your faith, because very soon we're not gonna have videos to watch to get upliftment by. You're gonna have to be able to be uplifted just based upon your faith and the wisdom that Yahweh Shem Shai gave you. All right, you're not going to have the prophets to rely on anymore, by making these videos day in and day out. And when you hear the video, you get inspired. No, you're going to have to be able to be inspired with your own self. Right. So verse 9, it says, for Yahweh B'Shem Shai choose to save us through our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, not to pour out his anger on us. Right, so what's coming down the pipe is the Lord's anger. That's why the scriptures talk about indignation, the wrath of the Lord. But that wrath of the Lord All right, Jacob's trouble was not made for the hopeful elect. Okay.
Well, you got to see, like you got to see like how it is, man, and just be spiritual about everything. Don't be, carnal. Like the reason why we get this truth is because the Most High has a spiritual place in his heart for us and put us aside. But your cousin Brandon, all right, your uncle Tony, right? It says, "For Yahweh saved us through our Lord Yahweh Shai, not pour his anger on us." So which means whoever has not been saved, the Lord is saying, "You know what? You're gonna get it." Right. Your little niece Keisha. Right. So that's what it is, and it's the truth.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, you said a good point. You got to get spiritual and not carnal minded. So if the truth is that any one of our loved ones can get it, including us, then when it comes to your family members and the people, your loved ones, you got to look at them as to what spirit is in that body. You know what I mean? Because you can't look at them as your cousin Brandon or your grandmama, whatever. You got to look at them as what spirit is in that body. Because that's how the Most High is looking at it. Yeah.
Putting some pigtail in your stoopies, saying there's no pigtail in there.
Right. Wicked. Yeah, that's right, man. Because if you're not looking at things spiritually, that means there's an opportunity to be overthrown by emotions. That's what Satan likes to work on. So verse 10. This is
remember Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife.
Khan. Yep. And you know what? And then also Yahushua said, Peter, Satan desires to sift you out as wheat. Right. And when you look up the word sift, it means to be moved by inward agitation. So the internal war that's going between that's happening between your flesh and your spirit. If you're not feeding the spirit, then you're going to be overthrown by the internal agitations, the emotions that come from the flesh.
And Jake is very emotional.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
So verse 10, it says, Yahushua died for us so that whether we are dead or alive, because some of us will die for this truth, when he returns, we can live with him forever.
That's right. Us there is a possessive, right? It doesn't mean us. For everybody, your nigga eating pork.
No.
Make it. Right? Talking about, he likes Skittles.
Right.
Tasting the rainbow and shit, Yeah.
Hey, last verse here, and then last verse here, and you get yours, brother. All right. It says, so encourage, verse 11, so encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. So keep pressing, man. Stay on fire. Stay hot.
That's right. Encourage these videos, man.
Yeah, support one another daily.
Yeah. The brother send you a link. You ignore it. I ain't coming on. Like listen, man. Like I'm sure the elder, do by himself, but it's a lifting of a load.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good to have that this lively stones
to pull them,
rubbing heat, causing that heat to be fervent in the spirit.
That's right.
I got a quick script.
Go
on. This is Romans chapter 15, verse 1. We then, or should I read it quick or you bring it
on? Go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. Keep reading.
We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves. Let every one of us.
Hey, so some brothers is not good at with putting the videos up, man. All right. So that could be a weak point.
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna put the videos up, jump on a live. Right. Bring it to precepts, man.
Yeah, man.
And that's a brother who's stronger, helping you to be fruitful in the ministry.
Yeah. It says, verse 2, let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. For even Yahushua pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproached thee fell on me. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Like how to deal with brothers. You know, even the precept before that is written for our learning. To teach us how to deal with each other. You know what I mean? Don't come in the truth with this gangster, you know, like this gang mentality. I mean, you can't trust each other. Like that's in the world, man. You know what I mean? Like we've been washed up, we've been cleaned up, or we've been brainwashed. Right. In a righteous sense.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right. That's right. Can't be calling people no niggers. Nobody no niggas.
Right.
You know.
Right. That's right.
The only nigga is Isa.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, the cat fits.
It says that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Now, the Yahweh of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded, one towards another, according to Yahushai, that ye may with one mind.
Brother. I just want to say something real quick. Slack, I just want to say something real quick because verse 4, it says, for whatsoever things are written for aforetime or written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might be saved. So, like I said earlier, you know, it's a blessing that the Lord has risen up men, starting with the apostles and the elders, on down to us, to be consistent and on fire for this truth, because it gives us comfort and it builds up our hope and our faith. But you know, we have to remember as well, like I said earlier, there's going to be a time where the Lord is going to pull his prophets off the streets and off the internet. Right? So you're not going to have, again, for those of you that aren't, you know, you're not in the lot of prophesying and teaching, like going down the highways and byways, but you believe, okay, and you call upon the name of Yahweh and Yahushai, you're not going to have the apostles or the prophets to rely on forever. Or what's the word I'm looking for again? Sorry. For much time longer, you know, because it's going to take us off the highways, the byways, and off the internet. So you're going to have to be built up in your own mind, in your own spirit, with this understanding. All right.
Yeah, that time is coming. It's coming.
Because you know what? Because I was meditating on this, and like, you know, you still have so much things to happen, right? Like, for instance, before the MOTB, the Lord said he's going to bring a famine of the word too, right? So when the prophets aren't out here making lessons and and then going into breakdowns, when certain events take place and you don't know the breakdown, how are you going to know that that's what the scriptures are talking about?
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? How are you going to know that? You know, because certain things are going to happen, like prophecies are still going to fulfill themselves when the prophets aren't teaching. So how, if you don't understand the scriptures for yourself, how are you going to know that these are the prophecies that the scriptures were talking about?
That's right.
You know, go ahead, Ak.
It says, verse 5. Now, the Yahweh of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded, one towards another, according to Yahushai, that he may that he may with one mind and one mouth glorify Yahweh, even the Father of our Lord Yahushai. Yahweh Bashem Shai.
Right.
Wherefore receive,
Slack it. I just want to say, because it says, now, verse 5. Now the power of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded, one towards another, according to Yahushua Mashiach. So your love for this ministry and your love for the brotherhood, you have to do it the way Yahushua did it, not the way you think it should be done, not the way that you feel it should be done, according to how you were done wrong. Oh, I was done wrong by this brother, so you know this is why. No. What would Yahushua do in that situation? So that's how you got to approach the ministry and the brotherhood.
That's right. And the spirit has to be of Yahushai's. Right. And the spirit is what? Of prophecy. Yeah. Right. Be occupied with prophecy, because that was his spirit. He's always in the spirit of prophecy, man.
That's right.
It says,
Go ahead.
verse 7. Wherefore receive he one another, as Yahweh shall also receive us to the glory of Yahweh. Now I say that Yahweh was a minister of the circumcision for the truth of Yahweh, to confirm the promises made under the fathers. But it's going into more stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that the Gentiles might glorify Yahweh for his mercy, as it is written, for this cause I will.
And that's actually happening right now. Where are those Gentiles, man? Right? And so this is probably being fulfilled right as we speak. Right? Where are those Gentiles coming back, right? And glorifying the Heavenly Father and his Son.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
Yeah, I just finished this last
Con.
As it is written, for this cause I will confess to thee among the Gentiles and sing unto thy name.
Con. All right, so no, that's it on that. Yeah. So we're at an hour and 30 minutes, so we don't want to make this 2 hours long. Okay, Jake. But I'll leave room open for one last precept, just one.
Malak?
No, I have too many. I pass. No, but just going back to the title. But I meant that not just in a jokingly way, but everything was covered in the spirit. All praises to Yahweh Shem Roshah. We covered it, brothers. I believe so, Lord willing, that it was edifying, and we'll see the blessing in regards to this crisis, man. Esau's crisis versus the Lord's crisis, man. That's what this is about, and we want the Lord's crisis. So, yeah, wisdom is stability. And by the way, brother, that was very refreshing for me, because that was the first video I made. It was called "Wisdom is Stability," and it was like, I think, 8 minutes long. So yeah, man, it's a blessing. So that one precept and the way you broke it down as well, brother Kazak. Stability is wisdom, and that's what it is, man. That's what we need, man. That's what we got to continue to cry for and beg for. Wisdom, so that we're stabilized. That's all I have, brothers. Go ahead.
Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna close the lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the whole full elect of the nation of Israel. Give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh. All right, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the whole full elect, starting with 144,000 that are pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And as well as you little amount of sisters that believe, peace and mercy to you and your household. So we're going to say Abba Babal. And Lord willing, to the next live lesson, we say Shalom to the whole full elect.
Shalom to the whole full elect.